Summit will pop right on.
Summit will pop. Yep, that's right.
Got it.
All right.
We are live.
Almost there.
Beat you. Mine
right.
says live, brother.
Okay.
We are live.
We are live now. This is Indie
You
Talk.
don't have to send it to me. I'm already cutting you off. Don't send it to me. I'm sharing the link. Welcome to Indie Talk with J&J Security. I mean, Jeryn and Jesse. And this is Nikki Heat. And I still want to be a pro wrestler. And we're here to talk about pro wrestling.
Yeah. That's our intro. Yeah. So yeah. How's it going, Nikki Heat?
I am awesome as always. I wake up every day and I am still awesome. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I'm feeling pretty wonderful and awesome too. So yeah.
They say if you say something besides good, I'm fine, it's okay, I'm whatever. They say if you say something more intricate and more detailed, people are more likely to remember. So when I say I'm awesome, the next day people are like, huh, that one guy was great. He was awesome. Like people remember that. So I do it just to make sure that people remember me, especially at the merch table.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Wait.
And to the fans joining in, we were trying to get some stuff set up, but we are live now, almost an hour later. But if you're joining, thank you still for joining. Well, we got Summit here. Thanks for joining on there on Instagram.
Thanks, Summit.
Yeah.
Summit, who's Summit? Is Summit the beer place?
Your place.
We need a Nikki Heat alcoholic beverage. It's just called UV Blue and Lemonade. That's all I drink.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah. The Summit is a pro wrestling tag team by the names. The members consist of Joseph Alexander and Daredevil Derek Fury. So, yeah.
I know some of those names. What's up,
Oh,
boys?
Yeah.
No, but if you pretend that you know who everybody is, it sounds like you're really smart.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
No, I know who they are though.
Yeah.
Way, still works.
Oh, you just wanted me to say it. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to acknowledge that I'm smart. That's all. That's all wrestling is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There we go. Yeah. We'll start off with a good beginner question. So, talk about how you got into watching wrestling as well as the start of your wrestling career.
When I was younger, I would wrestle with my dad, and it's one of the few memories I have of him. He passed away when I was 6. And I believe that it was due to drinking and driving, but there's never any real information based on that. But I would wrestle with him and it was so much fun, but that didn't really mean anything in the sense of becoming a pro wrestler. It was just fun to roughhouse. And my cousin would introduce me to WWF at the time, and a few other cousins of mine. In my culture, you call everyone cousin. It's just easier. So when I say cousin, some are blood, some aren't.
Okay.
But I would watch wrestling, and it was during the WCW WWF feud, and there were 2 rooms. There was the kid room that was wrestling. There was the other room that was just the mom watching wrestling. She was watching WCW Nitro, and we were watching WWF. And for some reason, I attached to Jeff Hardy, and I've never let it go. I just can't.
Oh.
It's that it factor, the thing that you can't explain. It's kind of like another dimension of emotion to that moment. So that's when I would start watching wrestling, is around that time. And I never cared much for like Stone Cold and The Rock. It was fine. But when you're a kid, you love Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, and you love all the flipping and jumping and stuff like that, even if it doesn't make the most sense, especially looking back at it now.
Yeah. All the flippy, or how do they call it? The flippy dippy kids, or like Jim Cornette calls it that or something.
We just call him Dante in our class.
You did? Oh, okay.
Just kidding, Dante. We love you.
Yeah. Shout out to Dante Martin. There we go. Yeah. Jesse.
So what was it like to wrestle Paul Burt for the MAW Heavyweight Championship?
It was awful. Paul's not fun to work with. He's very particular about the way he does things, and a lot of them don't make the most wrestling sense. No, I'm just kidding. He's awesome. It's fun. It's one of those experiences where you are in the main event and you want to do well, but you don't want to overcomplicate the situation, especially for myself, because I'm just coming back full time to wrestling. So I haven't been wrestling every single weekend for like the last 3 years, like prior to the thing, that
Right.
thing. But in that, we were able to still tell a great story. And I called an audible just to finish early, just because it was already getting late and I wanted to finish.
Oh.
Seemed right. The crowd was fine. Half of them left. It was already 9:30 at night.
Oh, okay.
But afterwards was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was there. I'm like, where the hell are people going? It's really it's the MEW Championship main event. They're like, oh, the wrestling, it's over now, I guess.
Casuals, brother. They don't care. They were just there to watch a couple guys get slapped around.
Yeah,
Or girls. The
or
girls
girls.
went on right before us.
Yeah, there's 2 women's matches too. So yeah.
Always better to have more than one, because you don't just want the girls match. Doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, it's a women's match. Yeah. But no, it's definitely more than that. So yeah, unless if it's a bad match, but like you don't know that going into it. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I debuted new gear, so that was why I was so excited, because it wasn't initially planned to be a title match. It was initially planned just to be Paul Verk and I working, and we were probably going to be somewhere in the middle of the card, and it was going to be a good gaga fun match. But once Paul beat System, it was like, okay, I have to put in some real good work. I have to make sure that Paul looks real good. I have to make sure that Paul wins definitively. He's the champion. That's what we're going with. I'm a team player, and I have no problem doing all the favors that need to be done to tell the story. And we told the story that Paul needs someone to challenge him, and I challenged him, and I put him not to the max, because maybe there's still a little bit more story to tell there, but I pushed him, and we did the finish, and it worked great.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. It was, I mean, yeah, seeing you back. That was the first match I saw you back in a few years. I'm
really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Thanks, man.
Yeah. It's been, that's so I know you did steal the main work. I never got to see that, but the first show and like only show that I saw you was MEW Rice County Fair, the same fair that I saw you at, the show you're talking about. And I was like, oh, he's a good wrestler. I believe you faced I know Paul Verk was a part of that. I know you were the referee for Paul Verk in another batch, but then I think you faced Tim Boston or something.
No,
like
you're
that.
really close, man. That's really freaking close.
Oh,
I worked Jerry Ulricher.
That's right. Yeah.
And the stipulation for that match was, if I lose, I am going to be the referee for the rest of the night. And if I win, I get a title match. Ironically, a few years later, I would get my title match. But for that night, I was left refereeing, and I had to ref Tim Boston and Paul Verk. That was fun. Tim Boston is awesome.
That's right. Yeah.
I even got my Stone Cold Steve Austin DVD signed by him.
Nice.
His character work, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jesse, Cold Stone Tim Boston. It's like a rendition of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's got the goatee and bald head. Yeah. He looks more like a Cesaro, but he's going for a Stone Cold. So yeah. yeah, it's all coming back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. That was the first MAW show I went to too. So yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot.
you were what, 16?
29, yeah, 15 or 16 or 16 or 17. So yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. I forgot how I saw it. I was like, I don't know, because my dad and I go to a lot of wrestling events, and I might have I think that was around the time I started getting social media. I'm like, MAW wrestling, that's really close to where I live. I'm like, we should check that out. The Rice County Fair, and they did a lot of good stuff there. So, and yeah, you
And I
were
think that event ended up turning into being free, so that worked even better for you guys.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, Moses Mayhem, Mitch Paradise at the end, and or they who was it? They chased somebody out of the ring because Mitch was getting beat up or something. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, Kyle and Corbin killed it, and I was gonna be the referee for the one of the main event matches for the Mitch Paradise match, and I was like, well, I could come in and do this, but I wanted something to make sense. I wanted it to be a story. So when they said that they didn't need me in the main event, I made sure that I could do something that felt special in the last match I was in, which was the Cold Stone Tim Boston and Paul Verk match. So I got to eat a stunner, and I don't take stunners too terribly. Do say so myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember how it went, but from what I think it was pretty good. So I kind of remember here and there, but yeah, yeah. And then I remember at the end I took a picture. You had like a trophy or some kind. You were holding up the Paul, and then I posted it, and you're like, "Hey, good job" or something. So I was like, "Oh, a wrestler just mentioned me," so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I do stuff like that, and I like to just incorporate the people that are incorporating us and just make everyone feel special, because if you took the time to take a picture and post it and tag me and find all my socials, like I can at least do you the honor of responding to you. Like I'm not
Yeah.
in it for the fame,
Mm-hmm.
but sure, it does come with it. But
Yeah.
reacting and interacting with fans like that, with those interactions, they build real fans. They don't just build one-time fans. Like you took that moment and you turned it into a podcast. How do you explain that? You can't.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I never expected to be talking about this on a podcast, but that's how it ended up. So yeah, storytelling. There you go. Yeah, long time storytelling. Yeah.
Hey, I'm in 6 years deep, brother. So my storytelling is getting better and better, man.
Yeah. Looking at the Facebook comments here, one of the first comments going down, Wrestling Gone Wild owner Tom Burdick, he's interested about having you at a show up there. He's like, we should get you up north to his territory.
Tom, I was gonna come up with Stonehenge, but he wanted to get high on shrooms after the show, so I didn't get to come up. So I never reached out. I was gonna ride up with that big old mother effer, and you never know. I'm still interested in coming up. You guys do some of them shows a few hours away. Oh. I'm only a DM away, right?
Ooh, that's right. Contact them, Tom. Yeah. And then oh boy, we got Michael Pam from Michael's Corner.
What's up, Mikey?
Yeah.
He hates when I call him Mikey.
Oh no.
Yeah, he asked me not to, but he knows it's all in good fun, right?
Hopefully. He's saying he said Paul Verk isn't a great MAW champion.
Paul Verk isn't a great champion yet, but he could be. What determines how great of a champion you are?
Yeah,
there's no answer.
Good question.
That is a good question. But then he also says, I have a lot of respect for Nikki Heat. Now tell him about that match he had against Julia Hart.
Oh, look at Michael Earl Pam trying to put himself into the situation, put himself over because he got like 10,000 views off my match.
Uh,
So that match, I knew I was coming in to work a girl, and I'm entirely all for intergender wrestling because of the fact that pro wrestling is sports entertainment. And there are all types of women that are even stronger than I am. I wrestled someone recently, and she's a badass, dude. Like, she's been trained, she's been shot on in the ring. She came in and she kicked some ass. And I'm all for equal opportunities. I'm all for treating women with respect and so on and so forth, and anything else between there. But when it comes to telling a story, you have to have a story to tell. And if Julia's not 6'4", a volleyball player that's been benching since she was 12, the story that's going to be told is I'm an a-hole and she's 5'2" and 107 pounds. And I think we told that story really well. I wanted to end the story. Well, I didn't want to end the story this way, but I offered it because you always got to at least put it out there. I offered to end the story with a punch, and I was just going to knock her the fuck out.
oh.
So there was that. And I didn't think it was a great idea, but I thought it was an idea. But we decided that it would be better for my character to win by losing, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
My personality would be the reaction, and that would be the moment that I would get, because they wouldn't remember that Julia beat me, but they would remember that I lost to Julia. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So kind of like when you remember the Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan match, you don't remember Hulk Hogan beating the bejesus out of him. You remember Shawn Michaels losing and getting his ass whooped the whole time.
And flipping around.
I wanted it to
doing bunches.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't do it cartoony or anything like that. So we told a story that would really flow in regards to logic, because I wouldn't strike her. You don't want to strike a girl on a show, because she was 17 at the time, I think, maybe 16. She was really young, and she was only so far trained, but she listened really well. She adapted when I didn't do what we scheduled because it didn't feel right, because we were shorter on time. And that match is one of the matches that made me feel really proud to be a pro wrestler, because it showed that I could work with a multiple type of opponent, big, small. I've worked with a lot of big guys. That's not difficult in that regard, but I worked with a woman, a girl, whatever you want to call her. She's a woman on AEW now, but to be able to just to tell that kind of a story and be able to go to that place for my character was a lot of fun. And it was like probably my most viewed match of all time before MAW took it off, because I think they're saving it for TV. But it's just one of those things that it was a lot of fun at the time, and I knew I killed it, and I knew it, and I knew it was a good match. Like, there's a good match and there's a good match. Like, we were not expected to do as well as we did to get the crowd interaction that we did. And yeah, she's pretty and she's a girl, so what do you expect? But to get more than an "oh, she's pretty and she won" reaction is more important.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. I don't know if we have heat because of another podcast. I don't see everything you do, Julia, but I know you're doing awesome, so I'm really happy for you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember seeing, I think I watched like part of the match, and I remember, I think they had it on like an intro to or an MAW intro package for a while too. I'm like, hey, that looks interesting. So,
It was a really good match, man. Really good.
Yeah.
Pro wrestling, sports entertainment, good. Like, she could have been China. Not quite, but her version of China.
Her version. Yeah. We got North Dakota pro wrestler Bullet Bronson. He says sup Heat. So
What's going on, big boy?
mhm.
Man, been a while since I've been in North Dakota.
Have
I'm
to get
coming
back.
really close though in September on a specific day. I believe it's the 17th. I believe Eric Bischoff is going to be there for Below Zero Wrestling. So they've been trying to book me for a while. And honestly, I pulled out of the last time I was supposed to wrestle. I was going to work Jack Ledger and I was really excited. We were going to go a good amount of time, but my anxiety and depression was really bad. And I had like this really weird issue with my back that was also happening. So it just all fell into place at the same time. But I'm really excited to come to Below Zero Wrestling. And if there's someone trying to bring me a little bit further into North Dakota, I would be on cloud 9 if they wanted me.
Yeah. There's also Time Bomb Pro Wrestling too, which is more deathmatch extreme wrestling, but I mean it's something out there.
The Time Bomb guy seems like an awesome dude. I just don't think with the current political climate that it would work very well for us. But it looks awesome. I think that their no ring, no rules matches are super creative and they allow for every single kind of talent to kind of get over in their own way. Because like you can't have Carver get over in a way that is a pro wrestling thing. It's like Mankind. It just wouldn't work all the way. It has to be a little bit more than pro wrestling. But for Nikki Heat, I get over in the ring, I get over at the merch table, and I get over pretty much anywhere your mom is. You know what I mean?
There
I
you
knew
go.
I could make you laugh, Jesse.
Funny guy.
Yeah, very creative. The thing with Time Bomb too, they have had a lot of course, the outside or no ring matches, but I guess as of recently, well, the first show I went to, they had a ring, but I learned before that they didn't have a ring. Now they've been having rings. Shout out to Jason Yerke and the Yerke brothers for giving them or borrowing or renting the ring to them. They've had great shows using that ring at the Sanctuary Event Center in North Dakota. So yeah, extreme or death match, extreme, or just regular matches too. So they've been pretty diverse with a lot of things now. But
Man, the Yerkes are carrying Minnesota and surrounding areas because if they didn't have a ring, I couldn't tell you how many matches I wouldn't have had.
Oh, yeah.
Fred, Jason, Richie, and their brother, I forgot his name, but they just had a baby. Congratulations. But yeah, those guys, man, it just, if there's no ring, there's no show. Maybe Time Bomb proves that wrong, but for me and my abilities for like the first few years, no ring equals no show. I can't do it. So thank you guys.
That's right. Yeah. And Jason also does sound work for these shows too. So yeah. It's really cool what they're all doing. And
and they have a cage, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it.
They have they're
heavy
gonna
as fuck.
yeah they're gonna have that at an upcoming Time Bomb event. Stay tuned for that. So stay tuned for that. So yeah.
Anyone else say anything to me? Because trust me, I got plenty of words for MC Mikey over there.
Michael says, tell him about that match he had against Petey Brown in his third wrestling match.
Okay. Well, somehow Michael Earl Pam, he's one of Minnesota's fondest fans, and he supports pretty much every single professional wrestler in the area don't think he has a shirt of mine though. You have to message me about that. But he happened to be at the show in Rochester, actually towards Jesse's way, and it was for UPWA, and I didn't know what to expect. And P. Brown actually got me the booking so we could work each other. And Aaron Corbin was there to be the veteran on the show. He wasn't like the most happy to be at the show, but he was so excited when he seen us. He's like, good, I'm so glad there's people I know and all this little stuff. And it was kind of a tiny locker room, so it wasn't that big of a deal to talk to him. But like as a newer guy, being able to talk to someone that's going to be in the main event, someone that's higher up on the card, I should say, it was really nice to have him be so humble. And I asked him to watch my match, and the last thing he said to me before I went out was, heal it up. And I think I've done that at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I hope so.
I mean, seeing the last match that I saw you at, I think you did. Yeah.
I've made at least 2 kids cry since I've come back. You know,
That's a good thing.
not a bad day's work.
Thing works. Yeah. Jesse.
So how does it make you feel like when you are like on the PlayStation and you're like playing the wrestling game and you're going through the community creates and you see yourself?
I don't play video games.
Well, you should.
Yeah.
Am I on there? That's pretty fucking sweet, man. Who did it? Send them to at me, and then I will tag them and
I
thank
think
them
it was 2K19 you were on.
Oh, I thought you were talking about recently. Yeah, I was on 2K19. Of course, I was firing on all cylinders at that point. I was Tomahawk Kid, I believe. I forgot his name off the top of my tongue, but yeah, he did my character in that one. I believe Steve Larson has done my character recently, and or his son, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really cool to be tagged in it, because when I was younger, I would always make my character with the Dragon Ball Z hair, and I would give him the cool punk rock entrance, and I would give him every special move I had. His circle up would be choke slam, the down would be power bomb, the other side would be a rock bottom, because you don't know anything about wrestling besides the big moves.
Yeah.
So I would give him that, and then when I got a little bit older, I look good in white. Okay, so my skin color with white, especially when I'm tan, I look good. And I know Vince McMahon doesn't like white, so I've kind of avoided it maybe. And also it gets dirty, and no one likes dirty white, so I've thought about gray. But I made my character white. I gave him a big ass headdress, and I gave him ironically, I gave him Orange Cassidy's move, the suplex into the stunner. I did this in like 2010. I don't know if he was doing it, how it worked, or whatever happened, but I remember putting my character to have that as a finisher, and that was during the time when you could make your own finisher, so you could kick him in the gut, you could go behind him, you could this or you could that, and you could kind of create it yourself. And it was one of those really cool things that I think they got rid of.
Oh, okay.
But I did that as my finish, and I recorded all over my Xbox of me doing these moves. And then to get I don't know what it would be like. When stuff like this happens, you can't be anything but grateful and loving your life that someone spent the time to make you as a character and into a video game, or even if someone would take the time to think of me and to say, hey, I met Nikki Heat, he was really nice, or anything like that. It's so humbling, and it reminds me why we are where we are, and how much it matters that we're building true fans, not just money machines. I don't want to treat my my fans as a prophet. I want them to be a part of my process, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think your moniker right now, inspirational. I'm feeling very inspired right now. Are you, Jesse?
I should certainly am.
Yeah.
As long as you keep your inspiration underneath the table, we're good, brother.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Whoa, okay. Kids, you'll find that out in a few years. Or find out what that means. Yeah.
Trying to put the kids to bed tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, kids should be sleeping by now. It's 10 o'clock p.m., guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have some California listeners, right? They're 2 hours behind us.
You never know.
Yeah.
7:30, 8.
Oh, okay.
I-
Michael's inspired right now too. So
Well, Michael,
It's past his
I think you
bedtime.
need to go to bed. Go to bed.
Yep.
man.
See, we're on the same page.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a young pup. He needs to go to bed.
Oh, he's at least 34.
38.
Last time I
now.
seen him, he was 32, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Go to
He's
bed.
So
Michael.
great.
Yeah. I think on his one of his podcasts, he said he was turning 38, I believe, if I'm right, Michael. So he's almost 40.
Almost
Yeah.
old enough to be my dad, Michael.
Yeah.
It's
There you
close.
go.
Lots, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned the Tomahawk Kid. Talk about how you originally called that and the story behind that.
Yeah, so my t-shirts are available on Pro Wrestling Tees. I would prefer if you DM me first. Oh, I dropped my mic. Come on, Hawk, get it together, brother. My t-shirts are available on Pro Wrestling Tees. I would prefer if you DM me first, though, because I might have your size and I might be coming into some additional merch pretty soon. Secret merch that no one knows about yet.
Oh, okay. There you go.
But Tomahawk Kid was actually an invention from my own and my trainer. My initial trainer was Greg McDonald. I started in February of 2016. And when I was going to have my first match, he was thinking Tomahawk Nix, Nix, would be a good fit for my character. And when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't hate it. It's a good name, but what if I did something different? And I feel like I based it a lot out of the lottery of genetics, that I look younger than I am, because I'm 37 right now. So being able to be called the Tomahawk Kid at whatever age I was is pretty nice. And to use the word kid as Heartbreak Kid or 1, 2, 3 Kid, it's always added a little bit of interest, and it sets you up almost as the underdog. And as being a Native American, people already have that sympathy towards you. And he wasn't my main trainer, but he was a trainer of mine. Bye, Jesse.
Oh, maybe his audio. Yeah, he might have had some issues, but he should be back in a sec.
We'll find him. Yeah, so as one of my trainers, he came in and he did arm drag week. His name is Eddie Sharkey. You might be familiar.
Yep. The legendary trainer of champions, Eddie Sharkey. Yeah.
Trainer of champions. I can't wait to win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm actually a 2-time tag team champion at Battleground. There he comes.
He says, "Can we do a part 2 tomorrow?" But he has to wrap it up. The wife works early.
He wants to go before she comes home.
I wish.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm down for a part 2 if you guys want to get more into other stuff. So your call, brother.
Oh man, this is hard. Well, I don't know if I could do tomorrow night though. I'd be because I'm actually going to Dynamite tomorrow. Dynamite tomorrow in Minneapolis. So
hell yeah, go see Arya.
yeah.
Okay, we will reconvene in a few days. No worries. Unless you want to finish right now, you can tell me.
Oh yeah, he's asking, or do you want to finish? Fans, what should we do? I could.
Well, if the fans have a preference one way or the other, let's go with that. But for I'll tell you something. One of my favorite shows ever was House, and I had bought every season at Best Buy all the way 1 to 8. So when I finished one, I could go right to the other. And the one thing I missed out on the process of watching them all 1 to 8 was I missed all the cliffhangers. And if we were to leave the fans with maybe a cliffhanger, maybe they would want to come back to us.
It could be, yeah. Oh yeah, we are kind of. Would you be interested in the morningish or like noonish?
As long as you double my rate that I told you in private and confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My time is pretty valuable, man.
Guys, we're paying them big money here, exclusive Nikki Heat right here. So,
well, the only reason I got paid is because I asked about getting paid, and that's the one trick in pro wrestling is if you want to really get paid in pro wrestling, you have to.
Did he do that on purpose? Or... Oh, well, huh? He probably did that on purpose. I think that's gonna be a. He's not messaging me. I think that's gonna be a cliffhanger, I guess, for a part 2. Sometime down the line. We'll have to see how that goes. What's going on here? That's his cliffhanger, I guess. Well, yeah, I think we'll work on a part 2. Unfortunately, Jesse, he had to do some stuff tonight. But I think we'll reconvene with Nikki Heat at a later date and go with that. Jonte Dawson, you go to bed. I think we might be wrapping that up. The summit. Well, okay then. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. I don't know what we should do, but I'm just on the screen right now. I think we'll end it. I think that's Nikki Heat's cliffhanger. Jesse's got to do some other stuff, and it's 10:00 p.m. So we should all probably go to bed or not be on social media. We'll see how that works. So thanks for joining for, I guess, part 1 of Nikki Heat, and we'll reconvene some other time. All right, live is ending, guys.